This is the one video that will help you write your PMP application with these tips that you've never heard. Tip 1 is have unique project titles for each of your projects. Here are 3 examples: implementation of marketing campaign project, design of new software app project, and development of an automated process project. Do you see a trend with these 3 titles? At the beginning of the title, I use a noun that describes the project. So implementation, design, or development. Other similar nouns that you can use are rollout, installation, construction, rebranding, and integration. And after the noun, you describe what the actual project is. So in our case, we have marketing campaign, new software app, and automated process. And at the very end of the title, we insert the word project, just right there. Think of it like we're putting a bookend to our shelf. So when you use this formula to write your project titles, noun, description, and then the word project, you're making it very easy for PMI to know that you actually worked on a project. Make it short, sweet, and to the point. Be concise. Why make things harder than they actually have to be? Tip 2 for your PMP application is something that you would not expect. It's so easy that unfortunately many people seem to skip it. But today, you're not like most people. You, my friend, take action. You are an action taker. For your project description, PMI tells you, provide a high-level description that summarizes your experience and includes a project objective, outcome, your role in the project, and your responsibilities and deliverables. Did you catch all those details in that one sentence? Please do not skip this part. Go back and reread that entire sentence. Do not pass go and do not collect $200. I was recently playing Monopoly with my wife, by the way, hence this joke. So you see, this is where most people make the mistake of not reading and not following instructions. In this one sentence, PMI tells you what they want right in front of you. From PMI's instructions, you need to include 5 things in your project description: the objective, outcome, role, responsibilities, and deliverables. 5 things. And in your responsibilities, talk about your experiences with how you manage the project. If you miss one of these things in your description, PMI might audit your application, or they could ask you to resubmit it. I don't want your application to get audited or rejected. That's the last thing I want for you. So trust me, I know how frustrating and annoying it can be to write your PMP application and all of your project descriptions. When I submitted my application, I felt all this anxiety and this stress just bottling up inside of me because I didn't know if PMI would approve it or not. Does my experience resonate with you? So please don't make this mistake. For each of your projects, address each of these 5 areas and you're gonna be good to go. Tip 3, only include experiences which are project management related. As someone who's already passed the PMP exam, I can tell you that your PMP application is not meant to show everything you ever worked on. This is not a biography of your career. It's not a book, and it's definitely not your resume. This is your application to prove that you have experience managing projects. That's why this application is for becoming a project management professional. A huge emphasis on project management. Does that make sense? So in your project description, please don't list every single task that you did or that you supported. There's no need for you to have a long laundry list of 20 things that you did during your initiation phase. Instead, include a few sentences on a few of your project management activities. Examples could be obtain approval for the project charter, identify stakeholders, and led brainstorming discussions. Do you see how I kept to 3 activities with this example? I like to keep things simple and straightforward. Just something to keep in mind because you're probably going to have more than just one project on your PMP application. So my advice to you would be, instead of listing out all of your project management work on one project, spread them out across all your projects. That way, one project doesn't have this long laundry list of items. And then your other project barely has anything. And one more thing, if you're loving this video, then I have a free gift for you. If you'd like to pass your PMP exam on your first try, then sign up to my free PMP class at alvinthepm.com/bootcamp, and you'll learn how to solve PMP questions the fast and easy easy way, and you'll be one step closer to acing your PMP exam. All right, tip 4 is don't be generic with writing your project descriptions. Be specific with explaining how you manage your projects. As UCLA basketball coach John Wooden says, it's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen. So to write a PMP application that gets approved easily by PMI, you gotta do this. Include the details explaining how you manage your project. For example, don't just say led a team or managed resources. Do you know how boring and generic that sounds? Explain how you actually did it from a project management perspective. Is there any way that you can just add a little bit more finesse to it? You know, like, help me out here. Throw in some project management tools and techniques that you actually used. You see, the more precise you can be, and the more detail you give, your application will have more legitimacy and that oomph behind it. So instead of saying manage resources, you could elaborate a little bit. Why don't you say something like manage the team and equipment resources to complete in-house testing of engineering samples? Let me share with you another example to help you out. Instead of saying the project was delivered on time, well, you could be more specific and say something like the project was delivered on time within 12 months and the budget was kept within target of $100,000. This is just an example, but you get the idea here. Tip 5 is align your project experiences with each of the process scripts from the PMBOK guide. To make sure that we're on the same page here, these are the process scripts that I'm talking about. Initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and lastly, closure. So when you write out your project descriptions, I recommend writing out how you manage your project within each of these different groups. So you'd explain what you did during initiation. You'd write a few sentences talking about how you worked with the sponsor. You obtained approval for the project charter, and then you'd explain what you did during planning, like leading a project kickoff, collecting requirements with your team, and so on. Tip 6 is one that you may not have heard before, but this trick will make your application go from boring and plain old vanilla to stand out in no time. And it's this: use leadership action verbs in your project descriptions. My friend, now is not the time to write passively. Your goal is to write an application that gets approved by PMI, not rejected. And one of the easiest ways to minimize your risk is by using action verbs when you describe your project experiences. As a real example, which project description sounds more actionable that shows that I have leadership and project management experience? Number 1, participated in daily stand-ups with the team. Or number 2, mitigated the risk of vendor delays by managing communications with 3 vendors. Which project description sounds like you have actual leadership and project management experience? Option 1 or option 2? Let me know your thoughts and why you think that's the case by dropping me in the comment section down below. To help you out, here are 5 action verbs that I've actually used on my PMP application that you can use to write yours. Aligned, directed, led, managed, and mitigated. What do these 5 verbs have in common with each other? Well, they show and they imply leadership and project management skills, not just in holding a meeting, but with making decisions, handling challenges, and solving problems. So if there's anything you take away from this video, use action verbs that show you're a leader in your projects. Tip 7 is include experiences where you led cross-functional teams. You see, you don't want to just list any project on your PMP application. You want to stack the odds in your favor and increase the chances that you're going to get approved. So here's my suggestion. Based on my experience having my PMP application getting approved by PMI in less than 1 week, cherry pick and select the mighty few that are the best sounding to use on your application. Now you might be thinking,
but Alvin, why would I want to be selective of which projects I use?
Well, the answer is kind of simple. You may have worked on 5 to let's say 10 projects, but if you want to increase the odds of your PMP application getting approved by PMI, then choose the ones that show that you're the leader and you've led cross-functional teams. Bonus points if it's a project that you've managed across all 5 process scripts that we talked about earlier. All right, tip 8 is to use PMBOK terminology throughout your project descriptions. Let me explain. Which sentence sounds more project management oriented? Number 1, ensured the product was developed correctly by leading a team. Or number 2, mitigated the risk of scope creep and the addition of new project requirements by managing expectations with the team. I'll pause right here so you can think about it. All right. Now, if you said option 2, then my friend, you got it correct. And the reason why is because I used 4 project management phrases. You ready? Mitigated risk, scope creep, and managing expectations. So as you write out and you review your application, have you used PMBOK terminology for each of your projects? And if you haven't, where can you insert the project management words to put that oomph into your application so it sounds more project management oriented? If you're having a tough time with what words you can use, refer back to your PMBOK guide. Here, I have the PMBOK Guide 7th edition, and you can go to the glossary at the very end of it to see which words that you can include in your project experiences. Now, once you incorporate these tips on your application, the next step is to study the right way to pass your PMP exam. Please watch this video next to find out the best resources to pass your PMP exam on your first try, and I'll see you in the next video.